Red Chili Peppers under the bridge. I hope you're all doing well today. I just wanted to say hi really quickly. I'm going to turn down this song, so it's just kind of playing softly in the background. Today is going to be a little comms lesson. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, you saw the longer class. So maybe you have time to watch both, maybe you don't, but I'm happy if you could come by this little short class today. We're going to go through comms. We're going to go through some issues that I dealt with. Unfortunately, past, I had to deal with some people that were tied with the Russian mafia. There was the body language and the phrases they used, which were completely confusing, weird. I can't say that I ever knew that they actually made any real sense, but a lot of them were things that you should know. Like, if you don't know them because they're around in the American culture and language and sometimes in figures, people don't know what they're seeing. And for me, I felt like I never truly understood any of the symbols, except that I knew that they basically belonged to people who were in the Russian mafia and it meant something to them. So I'm going to start with one of the most basic ones that you've probably seen in a pop music video. Mind you, I have a certification in public relations from UVA. It took 2 to 3 years to get as a postgraduate degree. You have to have a bachelor's in order to get it. And I work with some of the best and brightest public relations professionals. One of my professors was named David Swanston. He actually passed away over a decade ago. He was a lovely man, great man. Here's the thing. He said he hated it when he had to have meetings with people they wanted to pick his brain. One of the problems the public relations industry had in the 2000s was that they started to have problems with people stealing their information, and he actually had to deal with some people who were actually tied in with the mafia that were using advanced technologies to steal information from him, so he wasn't actually able to get paid for all of his work and knowledge. And he was the man who actually handled the Ebola outbreaks in the U.S. He actually handled major health public relations crises with an ease and aplomb that most people just don't have. And it's just completely disgusting that he was abused that way before he died. But that's what happened to him in his life, and I was glad that I knew him, and I was glad he was able to be a mentor to me in my life, even though I had moved on to another field. So, of course, I was ripped off, not just on public relations ideas, but also in work, but also likeness, film scripts, TV scripts, songs, game plan, just too much stuff. Too much stuff was stolen. But here's a basic one. You've probably seen it local. Well, I hope it's not local, or even national, or whatever. You've been on YouTube or something and seen this, but there's a current pop star, I think, which is not that current, but it goes like this. That's a sign that they're in the Russian mafia. Probably means most of her material is stolen, if not all of it. Probably voices too, for all I know. There's an arm move. If somebody says to you that they need something, and they do that, okay, and then they do the arms right this, they're like, I need it. Or they go like this, see the elbows? They're like, I need it. And they're acting really weird and pathetic. That's what you want to get away from. That's when it's trying to steal your money. And I've even seen people with a little more sophistication do it where they just go, I need it. And they make that weird face, and you're supposed to like talk to them about it, and you're supposed to just understand that because they need it, that they can have it. Well, that doesn't make any sense. You have to have more than just saying you need it or you want it. There was a lot of comms talks, I think, back in the 2000s and even the early 2010s, where women were doing these sort of talks about needs versus wants, and even in psychological terms. And a lot of that was to talk to people about scientific issues of need and want, and to address some of those people so that they would understand suddenly that the rest of us really weren't going to put up with it. The other point of that actually was a way of just saying, hey, that's really inappropriate, and the rest of us we don't subscribe to that culture. Knock it off. But, when I was younger, when 19, 20 years old, I'd look at somebody do that, and I'd be like, oh, are you in pain? Do you actually need something? Are you hurt? I don't do that anymore. I know better. I still don't really know what it entirely means, except that I know it means they're going to try to steal something from you, so get away from them. And that's also a trait of sociopathy and psychopathy, the sort of overly focus on their own needs and wants. But when you're dealing with Russian mafia, that has a specific meaning that's really strange and kind of creepy. So you got the arm move, teethless move, we talked about, some money. I don't understand that phrase. It's give me some money, or, I'll give you some money. But they say it really weird. It's some money. And they do it with a really weird intonation. Don't know what that means, but I've never in any situation with a person like that actually gotten money. I've never actually gotten anything I needed from them. In fact, it usually just meant they were crazy. One thing I noticed about that culture is that they do a lot of drugs, and they do them almost ritualistically. And it's part of the reason that they have so many problems with money. Like, Putin has a lot of problems with money because of drug use, and they don't like to do it. It's not like they're taking Advil. They're into hard drugs, and hard drugs are expensive, and they're illegal, and nobody has time for that. You don't have time for it. Neither do I. Mouth rub. I've never seen anyone do that where anything good was coming. I don't know what it means. But especially if I see an older man doing it, it's not a move that's good for you. If they're looking at you and doing it, like, something's coming and you're going to have to handle it, and at least you know. At least you got some advance warning because you understood that it's a strange kind of signal. It means something and you're not going to want to be around for whatever it is. And I don't mean that there's something coming that's going to be mostly bad. It just means it's not a good signal for you. So, also too many hand motions. Like, some of the woke movement that people don't realize is actually tied into Russian mafia and anarchist movements involves these really weird hand signals that people have been making fun of for like over a decade. I'm really proud actually of some of the younger generations that spent a huge amount of time making fun of them. You should totally make fun of people that do weird hand signals all day. That's really crazy. It's a sign of mental illness. It's one thing to talk with your hands just a little bit. It's even something else to be like me who's taken one of their signals and made it into something else. Like, I'm the queen of taking things that people do to be insulting or weird or try to be controlling, and I take it and make it like I go like this. Or I'll be like this. I actually had a friend who worked for the DOJ who made fun of some of them, and he said, yep, they are KGB and they are Russian mafia, and they will be mocked. Okay? Stuff like that. You can totally make fun of it if you want. If you think it's worth the time. But you may decide it's not worth your time. Give you some? That's a really weird phrase that I've seen used way too many times. When I had to deal with this couple in my past that refused to pay me for my work, I actually did protective order against them. Personal information, but I've been put out there publicly on Facebook. I don't really care. Yeah, I got a protective order against them. Took me to the age of 39 to get me to go away. They didn't pay me for their work, and I would say, am I going to get paid for my work? And they'd say, well, I'll give you some. And what? What does that even mean? Please don't tell me it means something else. You're going to give me vegetables? Like, you give me a house? You're going to give me money because I want my paycheck. Yeah, most people want regular employment. Like me, regular employment, contracts, pay stubs. That's what people want. Nobody has time for the other stuff. Nobody has time for weird phrases and strange expressions and people that are ready to just high. Nobody has time for that. Can't wait. One last note that I'll give you a sort of word of warning, and I say this is that when I was dealing with some of the investigations, because as I expressed in some previous videos, there was a man that had claimed he was supposed to be married to me, and as far as the UJ was concerned, he was obviously someone just trying to get a contract with me, so he didn't have to pay me for work. And I do have an actual legitimate marriage that, ended, but this was before that. One of the strategies posited to me was to be that everyone was supposed to say, she's so fine, you're trash KGB. She's so fine, you're trash KGB. And you can't have her, but you can have those other two. The other two women. Because he already had the other two. He already had his first wife at the time, and he already had the woman who's going to become his second wife later. He's now married to, okay? Does that work? First of all, I'm very Englishly looking and kind of nerdy, and I'm really not that good at playing a role. But does that actually work? Because I decided by my 30s that doesn't actually work. And it's not really healthy, and it's kind of toxic. And I actually took everybody to task over it. I took to task people in the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, Libertarians, because I was like, people, this stuff does not work. I actually went to a psychologist. I got her to talk about it in class when I was at Nova. And she said, no, it doesn't work. People, here's the thing. If you're dealing with someone that's toxic and angry, you don't want to incite them. You don't want to invite them. The whole revenge body concept really has to be about your personal health. It can't really be about revenge on them. It has to be about, good for your heart, good for your blood pressure, good for your cholesterol, better for your feet, better for your back. Like, I'm definitely someone who's lost weight for personal health reasons. And when I did lose weight, it was really for me. And when I was heavier, that was also for me. Your body has to be about you and your life. It cannot be about trying to make somebody else feel bad. And I pull back to an earlier video because I was talking about the fact that you couldn't dress as some of these other women up like me and have them be like me. It wouldn't matter. Those are two separate concepts. That's dichotomy. I just want you to understand that. Do what you have to do for yourself versus, understanding that another person can't be like you in your ethics and morality or whatever is important. It's important to know that there's a difference in how things appear, and at the same time, to know that the concept of trying to create angst or jealousy or whatever is just really toxic, and it doesn't serve you in getting on with your life. And it's also kind of dangerous for other people, especially if you're dealing with someone who's a psychopath or a sociopath. So, I'm going to go ahead, and today I'm going to sing a song by Tori Amos. And it's a song called Spark. I think it's one of her best songs, but I'm going to sing it really quick for you. She's addicted to nicotine patches. She's addicted to nicotine patches. She's afraid of a light in the dark. 6:58, are you sure where my spark is? Here, here, here. She's convinced she could hold back a glacier, but she couldn't keep baby alive. Doubting if there's a woman in there somewhere. Here, here, here. You say you don't want it again and again, but you don't really mean it. You say you don't want it, this circus we're in, but you don't really mean it. You don't really mean it. If the divine master's plan is perfection, maybe next time I'll give Judas a try. Trusting my soul to the ice cream assassin. Here, here, here. You say you don't want it again and again, but you don't really mean it. You say you don't want it, this circus we're in, but you don't really mean it. You don't really mean it. How many fates turn around in the overtime ballerinas are fins that you'll never find. You thought that you were the bomb, yes, well, so did I. Say you don't want it, say you don't want it. How many fates turn around in the overtime ballerinas are fins that you'll never find. You thought that you were the bomb, yes, well, so did I. You say you don't want it, say you don't want it. You say you don't want it again and again, but you don't really mean it. You say you don't want it, this circus we're in, but you don't really mean it. You don't really mean it. She's addicted to nicotine patches. She's afraid of the light in the dark. 6:58, are you sure where my spark is? Here, here, here. I think at the beginning I should have been like, she's afraid of a light in the dark. Oh, no, whatever. Anyways, let's take the whole thing. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed this little talk and all the information that I shared on communications and resilience and what that really is. And I hope you have a great day.